Welcome to another edition of MDEC webinar. So our topic today is teaching and learning during COVID-19 pandemic, the management and technology perspective of how universities are handling this situation. So as you know, we've entered the second month of being at home under the under the Movement Control Order, MCO, and everybody's affected. Workers, whether you're workers, whether you're parents, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a farmer, whether you are a retailer, and even if you are a student in tertiary institutions, in universities and polytechnics, you're also impacted. So because this is really something new, and the world has no living memory of how to handle this sort of situation. I think worldwide, probably now many millions of students are stuck at home, and they are being forced to also try out new ways of learning, and their teachers are forced to try out new ways of teaching. So I think it will be interesting for us to know how our universities handling the situation. And in Malaysia, we have a group of universities which are at the forefront of being in the digital tech arena. This group of universities is known as the premier digital tech universities. And UTM, University Technology Malaysia, is one of these universities. And we are so lucky here today to have the head of the computing school, Prof. Nasir, with us today to talk about how UTM is handling this situation. Okay, so let me just introduce Prof. Nasir. He received his PhD from the University of Manchester, United Kingdom. He has been an academic staff at the School of Computing for more than 20 years. He was the head of the Software Engineering Department from 2005 until 2009. He was the Deputy Dean Development of the Faculty of Computing from 2010 until 2015, and Director of Center for Academic Leadership and Professional Development at the UTM LEAD from 2016 until 2018. He is active in teaching, research, and professional consultation in the area of software engineering, especially in software quality assurance and software testing. So he's the right guy to talk about this, because he's been in the theory of how to handle the situation, and now he's putting all his knowledge and experience into making this happen in the real world. Okay, so let me just start to pose a introductory question to Prof. Nasir. Prof. Nasir, what are the challenges to teaching and learning brought out by the COVID-19, and how has UTM responded to this challenge? If you please.
Okay, thank you, Encik Nick. Firstly, I would like to thank MDEC for inviting me to this session. Actually, this is just experience sharing, because I'm not an expert in the education or online education. But I will share what we have gone through since we have this COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia. So the challenges caused by COVID-19 pandemic is similar to other organizations. I've seen read from the news, and then see also from the YouTube and then all social media that other universities in the world also face the same problem. But I would like to share what we have been doing since we actually face this problem. So actually, the first, if I still remember, that's on the 16th of March, the Ministry of Health issued a statement in social media that asking us to to prevent mass gathering due to a spike increase in COVID-19 cases in Malaysia. So at the School of Computing level, many questions asked by our academic staff. So at that time, MCO is not yet started. There's no announcement about MCO yet. But the staff is already worried about the gathering in the class. So at that time, actually, the Ministry of Health asked us to avoid the gathering of more than 50 people or 500 people, I cannot remember, but all worry about that. So at that time, I called the special meeting of the administrative committee meeting on the 16th. So we have to make a fast decision on handling the student movement at that time, because some of them want to conduct tests that involve 300 students. Some of them want to conduct a mass lecture because it is all in the schedule. But we have to respond to this. We have to make a quick decision. With the the challenges will be the it is also ambiguous. The information is also uncertain. So we have to work with this crisis. So we make a meeting and then make some decision. We cannot provide, since we cannot provide some preventive measures as told by Ministry of Health, such as providing the temperature check, providing the sanitizers, providing the social distance of 1 meter. So how we can find a place to do the examination for 300 students with the social distance of 1 meter. So it is quite impossible at that time. So we hold everything, all activities. Anybody want to proceed at that time, because students still in campus, to provide with 100% online learning, where the students stay in the campus without any mass gathering. So they proceed with that. So I myself have a class on 17th before MCO on 18th. So I just deliver my lecture using the live, because the live video, because at that time we didn't prepare the digital materials yet. So during MCO on 18th, so no unnecessary movement at all is allowed. So in the first week of MCO, we work very hard to assess the alternative for teaching and learning in many scenarios. For example, a student being remote at their hometown, being in campus, a long-term lockdown, for example, because we cannot predict the situation. And then the short-term lockdown, or unreachable student, the student that we cannot reach at all. We distributed surveys to both students and lecturers to measure the readiness of the students. And then based on the results from the survey, we used to make a decision.
No, right. I mean, I'm sure some of your lecturers could be stuck at their kampungs, because some of them have gone back for holiday or whatever.
Yes, true, Sheikh. Actually, some of our lecturer went back and stuck in the hometown. And then the students, actually that time, we give options, whether the parent want to take them home, or they want to go back home, or maybe just to stay in campus. So, but we have a very small number of the staff that's stuck at home. So the next thing is the university work very hard to provide the guidelines on teaching and learning during COVID-19 pandemic. This is to provide the lecture, because all lecturers and students keep on asking, and then they are in the uncertain state. So based on many meetings and then number of considerations, we decided that we are going. We decided to start on the 1st of April for our online learning. Actually, UTM is the first among the private universities, because other universities, the nearest one, I think UUM and USM, I think start on 5th and 6th of April, or UMT as well. So the rest, I think UIA start on the 1st of June. So it's quite challenging to make this decision, and then also to respond to the staff and student. So while the guideline is on the way, while we're creating the guidelines that time, we assess our facilities, capabilities, expertise, and the financial. So I think that's all about the challenges that we have and then how we solve the problem, Cik.
Okay. Very interesting. I can imagine the situation because the students are at home and their parents must be asking what's going to happen to your study, how are you going to go to class, how is you're going to take your exam. So all this, I think UTM has managed to handle that quite well. And I also imagine that in carrying out your action plan, there's a lot of consideration in terms of technology, what technology to use, so that is fair to the students, right? What the management approaches that you need to take to make sure that everyone is working together as a one single entity towards implementing your plans, because even when you're meeting in a physical space in UTM, there's a lot of management actions that you need to take. Lecturer needs to uh, prepare their lesson plans and prepare the report to the management. The students also need to do their homework and all that. So all this needs a lot of management and technology approaches. So what are the management and technology perspectives adopted by UTM to help students and university lecturers adapt to this online learning?
Okay, thank you, Jenny. So in terms of the management and technology perspective, in terms of management, we work very hard to make a fast decision in the planning, implementation, and monitoring. So we provide the supports in terms of training and infrastructure of technology. So once we announce to the staff that we are going to start on 1st of April, so the staff has about 1 week or more to prepare all the teaching materials and that you're going to give the student in terms of implementation of this e-learning. There is many support actually from we have one center that we call as UTM Leadership Center that's provide this kind of support. So as a management, we believe that the learning should be flexible. And our findings about the online learning implementation during COVID-19 supports this notion. Actually, we are lucky because actually the effort of promoting the online learning, online and digital learning, ODL, is already in the what we call in progress, and it's already started at UTM. It's very active. For our school, the School of Computing, we have a group which is called Future Ready Educators, where the lecturer focus on the 21st century of the teaching and learning and also the curriculum. So this group give a support to the peers, apart from the support given by the university. And then we also have at the School of Computing a support from a group of staff that give a peer support. So in terms of the implementation, during implementation, university provide some support in terms of one-stop center, and then also the online training. We have also the hotline.
Online training for lecturers.
Yes, online training for lecturers. And I think they work very hard. I think we have more than 3 sessions per day, and then also we do it internally, and then they can join through WebEx or Zoom to join this class. So the lecturers, yes,
How many lecturers are there in UTM?
All together, if I'm not mistaken, 2,000.
2,000. So about 2,000 lecturers.
Something like that.
So that's quite a challenge, yeah, to
Yeah.
organize all these 2,000 lecturers.
It's quite a challenge because actually the experience in online learning varies. Some of them is very advanced. They provide the MOOC, and then also they provide the online learning, whatever. But for some of them, they never started using the digital technologies. So
no experience at all, huh?
yes, some of them, a small number of them. So this create worries, concerns among staff. But when we provide the online learning to them, actually the attendance is increased. I think some of our top professors also joined that online learning. So it is like a very good attitude.
And how about students? How many students roughly in UTM?
The number of students actually altogether in UTM, this one also, if not mistaken, is about 20,000 students.
About 20,000.
So, but who stay in campus, I also have, cannot remember the figure, but it's a quite number also stay in campus, and then we provide everything to them.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, roughly, we're talking about 2,000 lecturers interacting with 20,000 odd students across the nation. So some of them may be in big cities, KL, PJ, JB. Some of them may be in the remote areas of maybe Kelantan or Kedah or Sabah and Sarawak even.
Yes.
So yeah. So that means you have to take into consideration the different challenges of the students in terms of accessibility of internet, right? Some of them may have high-speed Unify. Some of them may be on dial-up. So how do you make sure that all the students are getting fair share of their education?
Okay, during the first week, actually during the implementation on the 1st of April and the 2nd of April, we do the survey of each lecturer. But before the lecturers start the class, we ask all lecturers to contact their students and then get the internet access capability. So for example, for my students, I have 40 students in my section. So I will ask them in terms of the internet speed, download and upload, and then also whether they have a limited or unlimited package. So for the limited package, we also have to consider about the cost that they have to bear, because when they use live session, I think live session for 1 hour live session, we use nearly 1 gigabyte of data. So it costs about 70 ringgit, and I think it's not suitable or affordable for the student.
Even with the free internet provided by the telcos, 1 gig a day, that one they will use up quite fast, huh? Not enough.
Correct, Cik Nick, because we have students actually normally taking about 17 or 18 credits per semester, and then the contact hours for the lecturer is in average is about 18 hours per week. So if all lecturers use live, what we call the live synchronous learning using a live video, I think it is not affordable. So I always remind academic staff or the lecturers in my school and encourage them to use the synchronous learning methods. We can use a Telegram, prepare the short videos, and then send through the Telegram, and then give the exercise based on that videos. Then they give answer, we give a feedback, and then student. From what I observe from this technique is the participation, we can increase the participation of the students. Student happy. So we always stress on the learning happen, not the teaching happen.
Okay. So don't go for live learning. Make it asynchronous so that the students can have fair and equal access to the learning contents. Got it.
Correct.
So how about exams, tests? How do you conduct your exams and tests?
Okay, for the exam and test, actually, we recently um, uh, discuss this in the academic committee meeting. And then we ask the lecturers to propose the alternative assessments, whether they want to go for the face-to-face physical face-to-face final exam, they want to use online final exam, they want to use a take-home test, or they want to propose the alternative assessment. Since this is allowed by MQA, I don't think that it is a problem. And then after there is a one or two that insist to have the face-to-face physical final examination. But after we consider the nature of the courses, and then also consider the public interest, when the student, the large movement come to the campus, we are going to reduce. So we make a decision at the school level, the School of Computing, that no face-to-face physical face-to-face final examination. So students don't have to come back to the campus. So they can stay safe, stay put at home, and then they can save our community, because we think about what we call kemaslahatan umum, the public interest.
Right. Okay, excellent. Okay, I'm coming to my last question, Prof. You know, all this COVID-19 started in Wuhan, and even now, even though they declared they're sort of free from COVID-19, but even now the universities and colleges there in Wuhan is not yet open. The schools are not yet open. So it's looking like for schools and universities, this is going to be a longer term scenario, not just during these 2-3 months, maybe, I don't know, maybe some people say even towards the year end, right? So bearing this in mind, when and if the COVID-19 ends, do you think this online learning will be the way forward post COVID-19, and how feasible is it? And what will be the impact to the university in general? I know it's a big question, but just to see your view.
Okay, so maybe this is just my own view. So after getting involved with management during this COVID-19 pandemic, with this crisis situation, and then I read a few articles that some Western universities already expected that's to prolong until 2021. That the student won't be back to the campus. So we also anticipate that, and then so with that situation, I think the people said that that is the new normal. So many people said about new normal, how the things work. Now we can work from home. We can conduct the meeting. We don't have to travel to attend just a 1-hour meeting for PDTI meeting, for example, maybe from Johor. And then maybe sometimes I have a meeting in the morning in KL, and then I have a class in the afternoon. I staying in the airport waiting for the flight on the night. Maybe I can deliver the lecture from the airport, so I don't have to miss my lecture even though I travel overseas. So that will be the new normal for us, hopefully. So I strongly believe that online and distance learning will be the way forward, because before this, there are some people that are reluctant to use the digital technologies because they haven't tried. But now they are pushed. They are what we call forced to use the technology nowadays because of the MCO. So I think this is actually the blessing in disguise, what people say.
Correct.
Even though we face this difficult situation, but there is some benefit. Try to see the silver lining in the cloud. Try to find the light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know about that, but I think that is a new normal. So this is, I think it is feasible, but we have to take into account a number of constraints that we have. Just like when we want to start the class, we receive complaints, or maybe just information from the lecturers that their students cannot join the class because of the limited bandwidth, slow internet, and so on. So if they have a connection, but with a slow connection or very limited connection, we can change the way we deliver the course. We can use WhatsApp or Telegram send them short videos or some graphical image. So,
Right.
but if there is no connection at all, then we have to solve that problem differently. I think to solve the no connection at all, I think the problems may be related to digital divide. In digital divide, I don't know, maybe MDEC has more insights about the digital divide in our country, but I think we still have a digital divide. In terms of people who stay in the rural area and then also urban area, even though they stay in the urban area, if the socio-economic is different, so they still have this digital barrier, digital divide. For the people with a group of educated family and uneducated family, even people have access to the internet, but we have to consider also the speeds, the limited bandwidth, and then the affordable. To move forward, I think at the national level, I think MDEC has a say about this at the national level, because we should improve
Connectivity.
have a wider coverage.
Mm.
So wider coverage, reach rural area, and then also have make it affordable to the low income groups to what we call use this technology.
Understood. Thank you. So I take it that online distance learning will be probably the new norm going forward. But Malaysia as a country, we need to make sure that we have affordable and good accessibility to make this happen, right? Okay, so I think that concludes our session today. We've heard from Prof. Dr. Wan Muhammad Nasir on how UTM managed to uh, manage the challenges posed by the COVID-19 situation, where students and lecturers are not physically present in university, but they have put in several management and technological approaches to make sure that teaching and learning continues via via online and distance learning. And so with that, MDEC, on behalf of MDEC, we would like to thank Prof. Dr. Wan Nasir for his insights because not many people are actually aware of the difficulties and huge challenges faced by university in order to make sure that teaching and learning continues in this COVID-19 situation. So with that, thank you, Dr. Wan, and hope to see you again soon. Meanwhile, stay safe, stay at home, and continue teaching and learning with your students. Thank you.